Okay, thank you for tuning in. My name is Dean. His name is?
Dean.
We are two Deans, no waiting. We'll be talking about different things every week, I hope. We're still getting all the kinks out, but we're going to be talking about politics, current events, movies, sports. Nothing's out of the realm of possibility. I'd like to open up, though, with a little congratulations to President Trump. I want to congratulate him on being the first convicted felon to be elected president. What an inspiration.
Ooh.
What an inspiration for
Ooh.
all people who are incarcerated, not only here in the United States, but around the world. Anything's possible. Okay.
You know, I actually thought you were going to say something sincere about President Trump.
I did.
What? Oh, by the way, my name is Dino Volamatis.
I'm Dean.
I'm from Ecorse, Michigan.
I'm from Lincoln Park, Michigan.
Where I know more about crime than Kojak. And what he said is kind of ridiculous, considering how many presidents we've had, and you should know better, the Bush-Cheney crime syndicate. Why wasn't any one of them convicted of anything? And you agree with me on that,
Absolutely.
because they were criminals too.
Absolutely.
Well, compared to what Trump has done,
But let me. What I said. You're saying what I
he's
said.
a criminal, though. What makes him a criminal?
What you're saying to me is what I said was ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. He's a convicted felon.
Of
He is
what?
convicted.
Of hush money?
Whatever.
Okay, that's the same thing. What, didn't Bill Clinton do that with Jennifer Waters? What was her name?
No.
What
Monica
was it?
Lewinsky.
Monica Lewinsky? Or
Whitewater.
Whitewater.
There's lots.
Okay, there's a lot of
There's
stuff.
a lot.
You're talking. He was a criminal too. But the thing was, see...
But he was never convicted.
Look, I don't know if Trump is compromised yet. I really don't. I like to believe in Trump. I really do. And you and I have the same idea when it comes to the two-party system. It's a one-party system.
It's ridiculous.
Americans got to wake up with that. And that's why I feel like I would have loved Trump more if he ran as an independent.
Absolutely.
Although we know that it's so set up to where an independent or an outsider can't win. So what tells me he's more of an outsider is people like Dick Cheney. We're talking about criminal.
Yes.
He should be indicted.
Absolutely.
But what about Netanyahu in Israel?
Oh, absolutely.
Look at the genocide going on there. So compared to what these guys have done,
Yes,
Trump
but-
is like a saint.
Okay, but what I said was factual.
It's not well, it is factual, but look who's doing it. Who's prosecuting them? The New World Order, the globalists. You know,
For hush money?
For hush money. Hush money is
That wasn't
nothing.
no globalist.
You can talk about Watergate. You can talk about Whitewater. You can talk about Iran.
I want to talk about crimes against humanity.
You can talk about Iran Contra. What happened with Iran Contra? Was Reagan prosecuted?
Nope.
Okay, why not?
I agree.
Okay, all
These
right.
are all criminals.
But they're all.
However,
But look.
However, what I said was factual. He is a convicted
Look,
felon.
let me tell you something. I hope Trump, and I congratulate Trump on his third win, because you know what happened last
Oh, my
time.
goodness.
Oh, okay, 15 million votes. 15 million votes all of a sudden were gone from Kamala Harris. So 15 million people decided to say, oh, no, we're not going to vote. But don't you see that there's kind of a contradiction here? All of a sudden she gets 15 million less votes. How did Biden get those votes all of a sudden in the middle of the night? Oh, we got to go back 4 years.
Well,
I don't trust the system, and I know in 1960, and much as I like Kennedy, the Kennedy family kind of, Kennedy's father was connected to the mafia.
oh, absolutely.
We know that.
Yeah, we all know that.
He was a rum runner. He made his money with the Purple Gang, which is the Jewish mafia, which now controls Wall Street. I just had to throw that in there. I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, but that's the truth. If you're going to tune in and listen to us, you're going to hear nothing but the truth, buddy. Nothing but the truth.
But
as my buddy RP used to say, just when you have the answers, I change the questions. And to go back on what you were saying,
There it is.
Trump is not a convict.
the Piper's Pit is now open.
Yes, that's right. You might just get a coconut over your head, buddy. Wait a second. Just wait a second. But don't call Trump a convict, because gets serious.
What do you mean you don't call him a convict? He's a convicted felon.
He's a convicted felon over
I call
hush
him a
money,
convicted felon.
and we're gonna beat this like a dead horse.
Well, you are.
Okay. You said what you had to. Now I say what I
What
have.
I said was factual.
Nikolai Konstantinov is something to say.
He is the first.
Your country sucks, no matter who's leader, huh?
So let's get back to Netanyahu. Now
Okay.
this guy,
Here we go.
this guy is horrible. He's a horrible human being. What he is doing is genocide. He needs to be stopped. And unfortunately,
I agree.
For President-elect Trump has already given him a blank check.
You
Do
know-
what you gotta do to end this.
Okay.
Is basically what he said.
You know what? I agree with you on that.
It's horrible.
He's a Zionist. For most Americans that don't know what Zionism is, well, you came to the right spot because I'm going to teach you today. Okay, Zionism is ideology, far right-wing ideology based on imperialism and nationalism, which they think, though, they want to mix it with religion and tell the Israeli or the Jewish people that they have a God-given right to be in the land that's basically not theirs. And 80% of the Eastern European Jews that migrated over into Palestine at what time was a country, and in 1948, when they established the Zionist state of Israel, through the Balfour Declaration, the blood money of England, and the Rothschild money, by the way, who was a bankster.
Do they make chocolate?
Do make what chocolate?
Rothschild?
I knew you were going to interrupt me with something as ridiculous as that. Let me get back to what I was talking about Zionism.
Go ahead.
Theodore Herzl, he was a big Zionist. And this is how it all started, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, just before World War I. Theodore Herzl had an idea to create the Zionist state of Israel back then, and to basically take Palestine, or one country in the Middle East, to basically buy. He had to go then to, you have to understand, the Ottoman Empire, back in the early 19th century, controlled the Middle East. So he had to go to the leader of the Ottoman Empire, whose name was, oh my gosh, I forgot what his name was, Abdul, he was the Sultan. And he went to him and said, hey, I'm going to give you money, but I need to take over a country in the Middle East, give it to the Jews. He said, it's not for mine to give. Those lands were fought with blood.
That's the Sultan is saying it.
The Sultan was saying this, yes, the Sultan. So look him up. So then Theodore Herzl went over to England, and that's when they created the Balfour Declaration, and they were giving money to England, but they collaborated with England to bring down the Ottoman Empire. World War I happened. Then England took over the region, and once England took over the region, that's when the trouble started. See, the British promised the Arabs a homeland, and they pointed. I know where the camera's at. We need a prop, please. I need one real quick. Okay. So no. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me finish. I know this is long.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So when England took over the Middle East, that's when really all the trouble went to hell in a handbasket, right? And they didn't establish the Zionist state until 1948. Although they were having trouble getting Jews moving over to the Middle East.
They were.
Because the Jews wanted to stay in Eastern Europe. They were happy until, well, the Zionists were kind of mad that the Jews weren't leaving Israel, so something happened right after that kind of motivated
World War
Jews.
II?
Yeah,
The
and,
Holocaust?
well, yes, exactly. But if it wasn't for that, there would still be possibly Jews in Eastern Europe who are Ashkenazi Jews, and they wouldn't be having the problems they have today. Now, I'm not saying Jews are the problem, but Zionism is.
So
Zionism is not religion, okay? It's definitely an ideology. And it coincides with what I wanted to say with Netanyahu, who's an ideologue. And he's fighting an ideologue.
Yes.
He's fighting this thing called terrorism, he's saying.
Yes.
Which is bullshit. Because you can't win an idea. You can't defeat an idea. You can't invade another country thinking you're going to beat an idea. Well, but that's what he's doing.
Well, we've done that.
Well,
that has happened.
Well, but you can't with a tactic. Terrorism is a tactic. You can't really invade a country by saying, hey, I'm going to stop all this. Well, that's like voting for Obama and saying, well, because I voted for Obama, he's going to end racism. Did he end racism?
No, of course not.
Okay, it's the same thing. But go ahead, elaborate.
Well, we bombed the crap out of Japan, and they gave up. Did they not? Their ideology was gone.
Well,
Hirohito was no longer a god.
It's okay.
They were not going to fight to the last man anymore.
But
we did.
But you're
did
comparing apples to oranges as far as terrorism's going.
Well,
okay,
okay.
But we agree that
Right.
Palestine does not have an army.
No.
Japan had an army.
That's true.
So this Zionist is using terrorism as an excuse. Well, we invaded 2 countries in the Middle East, Iraq, Afghanistan. What did that do? Did that stop terrorism? It spread terrorism.
Yeah. Well, okay.
We fund terrorism. You know that. We created Al-Qaeda. We created Al-Qaeda
We created Al-Qaeda.
in Afghanistan to fund who? The Mujahideen ended up funding to fight Russia.
Right.
Today we're funding the Azov Battalion, who are Nazis in Ukraine, killing Russians in the Donbass. Now I'm jumping around, but the idea. Well,
I don't agree with you on that.
well, I know you don't. We'll get to Vladimir Putin and Russia later, but let's stick to the Middle
Well,
East.
you're the one that went over there.
Yeah, I went over there now I'm out because I don't like the violence. But you can go and elaborate on Netanyahu and I was just trying to
I understand
talk
what
about
you're
how
saying.
Zionism started in the 1800s.
It did.
Theodore Herzl was the one
Yes.
who proposed the Zionist state, and ever since 1948, the Middle East has gone to hell in a handbasket.
For people that was unable to follow all that, Zionism means that they want the state of Israel. That's basically it.
It's an idea.
It's in a nutshell. They want the
nationalism
state of Israel.
Yeah, but I was going
they
more
have.
further in
Yeah, I know.
detail because people have to understand it's not really Judaism. It's an idea.
Right. But anyways, this Netanyahu, who is a Zionist, he wants to eradicate Hamas, which I'm fine with. I don't care for these terrorist people either. Hezbollah, Hamas, anybody else out there, basically.
But who created Hamas?
It doesn't matter who
Well, it
created
does.
them.
Well, no,
They
because
would be
most of
able to eradicate.
hold on. But okay, if you want to eradicate them, you don't give them the money. Okay, who's giving them the money?
I don't know. Russia?
I'll tell you today. If you shut up, I tell you. Okay. Okay, Hamas was created by Israeli intelligence, the same way the CIA created.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay, but for him to sit there and say, we have to eradicate Hamas.
Well,
Hamas. How are you going to eradicate Hamas while you're it's kind of like the war on terror or the war on drugs. How did that work out?
Yeah.
No, it's a
Well,
money
part of
pit.
that.
Well, what I'm saying, it started with Nixon. But what I'm saying is this. Our government spends millions of dollars a year to fund it, then fight it. Well, Israel's doing the same thing. They're spending a lot of money to create it, because they created Hamas to counter the PLO. So if you're mad at Hamas, blame the Israeli government.
Well,
not the Israeli people, the
okay.
Israeli government.
Anyways.
Because they're just corrupted and illegitimate, just like any other government.
Okay, it doesn't matter how they were created, they're there. Am I
They're
right?
there, but you
Are they
can't
there?
kill innocent, or we agree, you
No,
can't
we
kill
can,
innocent people
no.
to stop.
Listen, okay, so this is my theory, and it is a theory. I think that the Mossad,
Israeli intelligence.
who is one of the top 3, at least, in the world of intelligences, allowed this to happen because they are very good.
You finally woke up!
Anyways, I think that's what happened. Now, that's just my theory, though. I don't have any proof.
But this is the thing. It's more than a theory.
Alright, you gotta let me finish.
Okay, am I cutting you off? Your time is up, Senator. It's my turn.
So, they let it happen. Now, it happened. They need to counter that, right? They're bombing indiscriminately. They're putting out leaflets saying, oh, we're going to bomb you. Well, that's nice and everything, but there's no place for these people to go. They didn't say, hey, we're going to bomb this place over here because we know Hamas is over here. Please send your people over this way so that they're out of harm's way. We're going to set up shelters or whatever. No, none of that has happened. All they're doing is just, we're going to bomb this hospital. Well, where are we to go?
Orphanages, schools, hospitals.
It's horrible.
Palestine doesn't even have an army.
And they're over.
They don't even have an army.
They have killed over 50,000 people.
20,000 were children.
Yeah, and then
women
another
and children.
10,000 were women, I think.
Women and children, both.
It's disgusting. If they got any Hamas, it's under 1,500 of Hamas members.
Maybe less than that. But it's so funny how, like you said, to elaborate on what you were talking about, October 7th, they couldn't defend themselves, but now they can.
Now they can.
And he's right about Mossad. It's the most sophisticated intelligence agency besides the CIA and the British intelligence. they can pinpoint exactly where a Hamas follower is by blowing up tunnels 100 feet in the ground, but they couldn't stop a bunch of goat herders from invading Israel with golf carts, a bulldozer, and a parachute.
Yeah,
but this is
that's what I'm saying.
Well,
this is ridiculous.
I know that's called a false flag.
It's actually insulting our intelligence.
It is intelligence.
So much they're doing.
It's the opposite of intelligence, right?
Right.
But of course, right.
So
the algorithms are going to blow my ears.
So this guy though, he was in power. Netanyahu, he was in power in 2003. Am I correct? Correct.
He's a quasi-dictator.
So he went to Congress and spoke to Congress and said, "Listen, we need to go." He sounds like Gene Simmons. I'm telling you,
he does kind of sound like. I like more like Henry Kissinger.
you're not allowed to hit that.
You're not allowed to hit the.
Anyways.
We are from Mossad. We want to destroy everyone. Trust me when I tell you. Vote for me and you'll be free.
So, anyways, in 2003, he went before Congress and said, you need to take out, that's what he said, you need to take out Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein had nuclear weapons.
He lit the fire for that.
He lit the fire for that and gave birth to the Bush-Cheney crime syndicate.
Yes, the Bush-Cheney crime syndicate,
Yes.
definitely. And you know what? I mean, this is the thing. If you're pro-Israel and pro-United States foreign policy, the whole reason why Iran is so powerful today is because of American and Israeli foreign policy. It's living proof, okay? Like what he said, they took Saddam Hussein out of the region. It made Iran more powerful.
Yeah,
At one time, Hamas is Sunni and Hezbollah Shiite. Now, Hezbollah is backed by Iran. No, I know that. But Hamas was created by Israel. Like I said, they play the divide and conquer. So if you want to stop these organizations, you stop the money flow.
Right, absolutely. We
stop
are
the money
funding,
flow. Right.
these people are being killed with our tax dollars.
Okay, that's what irritates
Why is
me.
that okay? I don't understand this. This is not okay.
No, it's not okay. I totally agree. And in this country, I mean, there's more people awake now. I swear, I used to feel like I was so alone in 2003, 2004. I was telling people, this war is bullcrap.
Well, I didn't meet you then, so-
I know we didn't know each other. That's when the world was much safer.
Before our alliance.
Right, before our alliance, right. The Greco-Meco Pact.
I'm going to call it Greeksican.
The Greeks again.
Greeksican.
Right. Alexander's army. He had so much fun, he couldn't sit for a week. But nevertheless, to get back on, we're losing topic here. But about Zionism, we're totally against Zionism.
Yes.
So we basically talked about the Middle East. I mean, we can elaborate more, but another thing that we disagree on is Russia. And let me start first by saying, okay, I don't buy into Russia, the boogeyman. Because my whole life, I always thought that Russia was the boogeyman. Because we grew up during the Cold War.
Yeah.
And they, that propaganda totally, once I got older, I realized that that's all crock of shit, But then again, they got their boogeyman too. In Israel, the boogeyman is Iran. In China, the boogeyman is Japan and probably the United States. So everybody's got a boogeyman, and the governments play that well, right? They use fear to control society, which everybody should know that. But with Russia to me is not the bad guy. We've become the bad guy. Okay, we've become authoritarian. We've become this country that doesn't want dialogue. This is why I don't vote for Democrats no more. Democrats have become the party of war. Okay, the neocons have took over the Democratic Party, and why? Who did Dick Cheney vote for this year?
I heard it was Harris, but we know that he's a liar. So we don't know.
Well, then the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree because his daughter said the same thing. But that's what tells me to stay away from that party. But go back. We need dialogue. Okay.
I think they voted for Harris because they didn't want Trump.
Well, they voted for Harris because they liked the policy.
Well, I don't know about that.
To fund the wars. Okay. To continue the endless wars, to continue the money pit. The laundering of money from Israel to Ukraine, which goes back to what I'm saying, Russia. In 2007, Putin went to the UN Security Council and said, if NATO keeps moving closer to our border, there's going to be a war. You can't keep building military bases all over the world. And in 1990, Surprise, surprise, America broke a promise. They promised Russia if NATO, or if Germany became a part of NATO, that Russia wouldn't move an inch past Germany. And it wouldn't take over old Soviet territory. Well, it's taken over old Soviet territory and it's moving closer to its border. I don't see Russia building military bases in Mexico and Canada. We're building military bases right on their border. So can you imagine if Russia overthrew the Mexican government, stopped trade between Mexico and Russia, and put in a government that was controlled by Moscow? There'd be a war tomorrow. So I don't blame Russia for protecting itself. The only country that can protect itself is Israel. Israel can protect itself, Russia can't. Iran can't protect itself, only Israel and the United States. We invaded two countries that are 5,000 miles away. So Russia's protecting its border. Unlike we're letting people in and there's no due process at the border. So that's why I side more with Russia. Because Russia's not the bad guy in this situation.
Well, as far as the as NATO and all that goes, I kind of agree with you on that. And I seem to recall something called the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Exactly. Okay, that's my point right there. Yeah, we put missiles into Cuba, and it almost started World War III. But we had a cool level president, Kennedy, who stopped that.
But even so, I'm just saying. Yeah, you're right. We put missiles over in Estonia, and then that World War III is going to start.
Of course,
can't do that.
You can't. And it started.
And I understand that. I can side with that.
But it started with the Bush-Cheney crime syndicate because they started moving missiles in Eastern Europe in 2007.
Yeah.
So this is when Putin went to the Security Council and said, "Hey, man, what's going on here?"
Right.
I mean, there's going to be a war if they keep. I don't think Ukraine being a part of NATO is going to help world peace.
Well, okay.
That's a bad move.
Well, at any rate, it doesn't matter because they're already fighting. So that's irrelevant now.
I think. This is for our IT guy. IT guy, your wife says you have another 5 minutes and you gotta go home.
Why is she calling you? Anyways, Russia invading Ukraine is bad. Okay, I'm against any war, so it really doesn't matter. It's just wrong. They shouldn't have done that. To say that there was part of Russia in the past, okay, I understand that, but it's not anymore. It's not the past.
Right. This is in 1968 when Russia aggressively invaded Czechoslovakia. So we're more of a threat to the region than Russia.
Well,
and you know what? I hope Trump comes in now I like his stance towards Russia better than the Middle East. Well, because he wants dialogue.
Well, no. The Middle East, for some reason,
we know the biggest lobby. The biggest lobby in the United States
is for Israel.
Is AIPAC.
Yeah.
AIPAC,
yes.
AIPAC has bought both of our, parties.
Yep.
And they control both of them.
Yep.
So the thing about Trump is, at least he's honest and he tells you, I want to fund Israel, whatever, I'm backing them. But the Biden administration was worse because they say, no, we want peace, and then in the back door they're giving them millions of dollars. Oh, we want peace, we want negotiations. No, they don't. Because they're giving them more weapons, they're giving them more ammunition.
So my problem with Trump, with Ukraine, is he wants to stop that war, which is fine, but he wants to give them half of Ukraine.
They already annexed the eastern part of Ukraine. People have to understand. Crimea was a little different, but we're talking. I know, but at one time, Ukraine was a part of Russia.
Yeah, I understand that.
For 100 years.
That's where the first star came from.
But
it's not anymore.
Well, hold on.
Well, that's just like saying California was part of Mexico.
I know, but listen.
Not anymore, pal.
Yeah, it's not because Mexicans now are in Southwest Detroit. Nevertheless, whatever. Look, the point I'm trying to make here is this, okay? Ukraine not only being a part of Russia, but the way Zelensky was put in power. This all started in 2014, wait, Western Baku, the Maidan Massacre, Victoria Nuland, she should be on that list of degenerates we're talking about.
Okay.
Her husband, Kagan, who was one of the architects of the Iraq War, they're connected to Chevron, and this was when the Obama administration, and they went over there with the endowment of fascism, that's what I say. Because prior to the war in Ukraine, you know who was selling natural gas to Ukraine and Europe? Russia.
Yes.
You didn't just fart, did you?
No,
I said
I did
natural
not.
gas and I thought you lifted your leg.
Not yet.
Okay, well, nevertheless. But a serious point here, because this is very important, it's very pivotal. This was all CIA. The Maidan massacre was Western-backed. They killed innocent people to blame Yanukovych. The West wanted Yanukovych out.
Yanukovych was Putin's puppet.
No, well, Yanukovych was, he wanted to do business with Russia. It's about business. It's about natural gas.
Listen.
No, listen, you interrupted me. Hold on. Before I get Roddy Piper out again, hold on. Okay, one of my personalities. Okay, Yanukovych wanted to do business with Russia. He was pro-Russia. The West didn't want that.
Right.
But like I said, prior to the war, who was selling natural gas and oil to Europe and Ukraine?
Who?
It was Russia. Okay. Today, who's selling it? Chevron. Wow, you think maybe there's a conspiracy to make money here?
Oh, no,
But
man.
once you stop trade with the country, that's when tanks start rolling in.
So-
and that's what happens.
Okay,
The
so,
Western-backed coup, the Maidan massacre, was with your tax dollars and non-government organization who George Soros, you're gonna hear that
I agree.
name,
I'm agreeing.
was involved in that because he's anti-Putin. Okay, so they started this to take him out. And this is the thing, why aren't more people upset that we're funding the Azov Battalion that has connections to real Nazis in World War II?
okay.
And then they started killing innocent Russians in the Donbass. That's what started all.
All right, anyway, this is why. I'm going to tell you why. And people don't, for some reason, this is where I'm getting off the streets, but from people I've talked to. That war has nothing to do with me. I want my gas to be low, and I want my groceries to be lower. So that is why nobody's mad about anything that you're getting upset about.
Well, they don't know. Americans
I'm just trying to tell you, they don't care. It's not happening here, so they don't care.
But this is the thing. They don't understand. Americans don't understand foreign policy.
No.
Henry Kissinger.
No, I agree. Oh my God, another war criminal.
I have to say one thing. I want to invade all the countries in the world. We will dominate the world. New world order.
How many times have you heard him say
New world
He's
order?
horrible.
Henry
He's a
Kissinger.
horrible person.
Well, I know. Okay, we both agree on that.
Okay,
He
let me
even,
get back
says,
to-
he even says that the American people are basically stupid
Oh, yeah.
and know nothing about.
Because he's right.
Oh, I know.
Unfortunately,
They don't
he's
us
right.
down on purpose.
All right, let me finish my point here. My point is,
Get your
okay,
point and shove it up your.
Yanukovych is Putin's puppet. Zelensky's ours. Am I right?
Of course,
Okay.
but wait a minute.
No.
Of course, but there wasn't a war in
Oh, yeah.
Ukraine
Right.
when Russia and Ukraine were doing business.
Right. Okay. All right. Now back to the. He's gonna. So my problem with Trump negotiating and giving half of Ukraine away or all of it away to Russia is.
I don't think they want all of it.
Well, what I'm saying.
They got what they want.
Okay. Let me
They
finish.
created a buffer.
Let me finish. So here's the thing. What I think is going to happen is he's going to give them whatever part of Ukraine that they want, and then what's going to stop Putin from going into Estonia, taking that? They used to be part of Russia,
That's not going to happen.
Georgia,
I don't think that's going to happen.
Belarus.
I'll get to that.
You don't think it's going to happen?
No, that's not going to
But it's going to
happen. No,
because
that's what NATO says.
no, that's
So
what
we can keep paying for NATO, which is another.
This is just
another
my
issue.
theory, though.
Well, no, but that's what you're saying. This is what NATO's saying. This exactly
some
what they're
reason,
telling you. You must be reading
Trump
on
is in
NATO
love.
pamphlet.
For some reason, Trump is in love with Putin, and Putin's going to be allowed to do
It's a
whatever he
good
wants.
thing. It's a good
That's-
thing. Yes, you need dialogue. As soon as he became president, now you have all these leaders saying we want. It's not just strength. It's common sense. People think, oh, because he's strong and he's gonna. No, it's you can negotiate with him. He knows how to negotiate. Okay, he's not perfect, but he knows how to negotiate.
He's gonna negotiate
Thank
with us.
God Kamala Harris didn't become president because can she even speak with? What we're doing now is way more impressive than she could ever do.
Well,
She couldn't speak without a teleprompter.
what are you talking about?
What do you mean? Every time to ask questions.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What am I talking about?
Where?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
When that teleprompter went, they had her on The View.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They had her on. They had her on The View.
What's
They were
The
interviewing.
View?
It's like this, except we're not going through menopause. Okay, that's The View. Okay, the one view. Well, we don't have one view, which is good.
Right.
But the point I'm trying to make is this: they asked her a simple question. Any is this fucking Abbott and Costello or what? First base. Who? What? What's on first? crazy. Listen, Elvis Costello. Let me tell you
It's the
something.
glasses.
The point I'm trying to make is this, okay?
What teleprompter?
Oh my goodness, now we're going to the teleprompter.
You brought it up.
Once the teleprompter goes off and you ask her a question, she's like a deer in headlights, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Kind of like you right now, because you don't understand.
I don't
what
have
I'm
a teleprompter.
saying. Oh, no, and
I'm
right.
still-
So we're back. My name is Henry Kissinger. New world order will
All right,
be
we're
in
back.
America.
So as we were saying
Yes.
about the View and how she's a deer in headlights when you turn the teleprompter off, and she don't know, what to say because she can't, think off the top of her head. It's just
Maybe. It just seemed that way anyways.
Yeah, nevertheless.
I'll have to agree with that.
Though what tells me this administration, hopefully, and I'm cynical, you know that.
Yeah, sure.
Like I said, I don't know if he's compromised yet. Some people think he is. I have libertarian friends that, don't trust him, but they kind of like him. But he is better than Harris, I say that, and this administration. But what's different about this administration than his last administration is the people. Like, it seems like,
Well,
the
he's got one person right now.
Okay.
And that
I've
person,
heard a few others, but.
her name is, that he actually named.
Right, well, I'm just hypotheticals.
Right, no.
They're throwing out their names that are throwing.
Right,
out.
this one is for sure, and she's gonna be the chief of staff.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Susan, oh my goodness, I lost her last name.
Okay, well, you had.
Wiles.
You had that.
Susan Wiles.
Yeah.
Susan Wiles. And,
Now, if I haven't heard her, that must be good, because I hope she's not a neocon. You gotta stay away from the Pompeos, you gotta stay away from John Bolton, you gotta stay away from those guys who are a spawn of Dick Cheney.
well, here's the thing on that, she has, she worked on Reagan's campaign. She's been around for a while. And I found out that this is not a lie. Her father is Pat Summerall.
What?
I'm serious.
You mean touchdown Dallas Cowboys, Pat Summerall?
That's him. Doink.
Are you serious?
I'm
Is
serious.
she gonna talk like him?
I hope so.
Vladimir Putin on the phone, Mr. President. Can you tell us about that player, Vladimir Putin?
Can you imagine? That guy had no emotions whatsoever.
He had the emotions of this table.
No, I'd say the table's louder.
Can you imagine she goes on TV? What a play. We are at war. New York just been burnt down. Tell us about that player, Putin. Great player.
Doink. You sound just like him.
Yeah, do I? But I think that's kind of a good thing I haven't heard of her. Have you heard of her? So I can't really elaborate on her, but I think that's interesting.
The only thing I
Summerall
heard of her was she was the chief of staff, so I looked her up.
Wow.
And then I found out that
You
somebody
know
else.
that my daughter's head of state, and she's going to tell all the leaders to shut up.
Yep.
He's gonna talk just like him would be hilarious.
I am not, I'm just being honest with you, but
Just got word, New York was just new.
I'm not hopeful for this administration whatsoever.
You don't think
He's
so?
going to put, he'll put people, he might get some good people, and as soon as they disagree with him, he's gonna fire them.
Like I said,
You're fired.
if-
And that's the way he is. He's a narcissist.
But this is the thing. Tell me what you really think. I know.
This is the truth.
But if he picks people like I hear Ron Paul is going to be an advisor, which is a step in the right direction. Kennedy's a step in the right direction.
Oh, dude, really?
Well, yeah.
You mean Warren Marine guy?
Okay, and we just had a president who needed diaper service.
Listen.
I mean, come on.
Listen, you know what? The Democrats screwed themselves. He should have never said he was gonna run for another term.
But first of all,
Never.
what does that tell you when somebody like a Kennedy has left the Democratic Party?
Well, you know what?
And there's problems in the Democratic Party.
Is
you
he
know,
a real-
and they're horrible.
Is he a real Kennedy though?
Is he? No, he's not. No, you are. You're a real Kennedy. Of course he's a real Kennedy.
Listen,
And
man.
he's got a worm in his. I don't know where you get that from.
From
but
him.
at least he acknowledges
He
that
acknowledges-
the shutdown was BS.
He
That
acknowledges-
Dr. Fauci is
He
BS.
acknowledges he has a
That
worm
the
in his
masks
brain.
were BS, that the vaccines are BS, and everything else we have to regurgitate,
That's,
from the corporate media.
I don't agree with any of that.
Well, you we should agree that the vaccines
And
are
now this-
horrible.
now-
When they're not even a vaccine.
And now this guy's gonna be in charge.
mRNA
He's
therapy,
gonna be in
they
charge of
kill your
health.
immune system. What's
They're
that?
gonna put him in charge of health and
Well,
food.
who are you gonna put, Dr. Fauci?
What's wrong with him? He's a doctor.
Are you, a doctor of what? Dr. Mengele was a doctor too.
He was a medical
Remember
doctor.
Dr. Mengele?
Okay,
Well,
Mengele, let's not compare.
No, I'm gonna compare, because he was in charge of bioweapons. That's what he created, was a bioweapon. And he showed the Chinese how to make it.
Who?
And Dr. Fauci, who else? He should be behind bars along with your other
Who's he
criminal
gonna look
offense
up?
what we talking about.
Oh, the worms in the brain.
No. You're talking about, so Kennedy is bad, but then maybe we should get somebody like John Bolton.
No.
Like him.
No.
Well, who's good?
Don't-
Nobody from the Democratic Party has impressed me whatsoever. So that tells you, if somebody like him leaves.
All right, let me tell you who's good at the Democratic Party,
Who?
and I would vote for him in a second. He's the gay guy, Buttigieg.
Oh,
Buttigieg.
are you
He's
serious?
fantastic.
Why is he good? Because
I
his
don't
name
know.
sounds, well, nevertheless.
Well, no.
What?
Okay.
Yes, he's perfect. I want to vote for him because he's all about booty.
RFK Jr. says doctors found a dead worm in his brain. RFK Jr.
Maybe they should find it at Buttigieg's booty. I don't know what the hell to tell you. As far as
Just
him,
trying to tell you,
I understand. Look, I think it's a step in the right direction. If he goes the other path, like who was his vice president, Pence? Okay, he sold him out. What about Pompeo? Is horrible. I hope he's a weapons contractor, CIA.
No, I agree. He was horrible.
That guy admits to lying, cheating, and stealing
So-
because that's the motto of the CIA.
Okay,
There's a
but
video out
so
there
that means
says that.
he picked him, knowing that he's a piece of crap,
No, I'm saying.
or he thought he was good. So
He's-
he doesn't.
He
he's
hasn't,
bad.
he hasn't picked him yet, but
Oh, okay.
names like that
I
are
thought you
being
said he
talked.
picked him. He picked Bolton, but we both hate Bolton.
But, of course, yeah, I know, that guy, he looks like a walrus. He should shave that,
He
he
does.
should shave that mustache, take it home and smoke it.
Okay,
That's what I feel
but
like.
that's my point, though. He picks wrong people.
Oh, well,
The good people,
well,
they
you know,
told them not to do
see,
certain things, and they're fired.
This administration, I hope police better, from what I'm hearing, there's good names coming out. But now to move on, what I wanna say is, what do you think happened to the Democratic Party? Why do you think they lost this election?
Well, I think, number one, Biden should not have, he should have stepped down. He should not have gone for a
Do
second.
you agree with the way they kinda ousted him? That was kind of a soft coup.
Well, yeah, but they knew they were gonna lose for sure with him. They had no choice. They had to at that point. And this all happened after that first debate. No, it wasn't gonna work. They knew
What a
it.
play.
Yeah, right. Well, that would have been better.
Yeah, I know.
How sad is that?
We're at war.
So, not only that, the church demonized them. I've seen pastors.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, well, of
I'm
course,
gonna-
they do demonize Democrats because he's not on board with, he's pro-abortion, so I can see them.
Well,
doing
that's
that.
they don't even.
Why did they
don't even.
elaborate because I
Yeah.
don't.
Okay. So I've been watching these documentaries, and there's this one guy. I think his last name is Locke. He's a pastor, like in Texas or some crap. But anyways, he was like, if you're a Democrat right now, and that means you're a demon, and I want you out of my church, demon. I mean, this is the kind of crap. You're not supposed to be preaching politics from the pulpit.
But people
Just
do.
not.
People do.
Oh,
on
yeah,
both
it's
sides.
horrible.
People do on
It's
both
horrible. But, you're supposed to be Christ. Okay, so I'm a Christian. I go to I was going to church and everything, but they shouldn't even have American flags in the building. You know what I'm saying? It's not for that.
Separation of church and state.
Well, it's not even that. It's just that you're supposed to be in there learning about Christ, not
Right, I know.
the politics.
Politics.
I've been to a church where, we invited the Republican side over here. We did reach out to the Democrats.
Well, that's
They
how churches are
declined-
divided.
They declined to come in. Well, why would a Democrat go to a church like that and get booed every time they open their mouth? It's just ridiculous.
Because it's their policy. Of course, if you're a conservative,
But-
and you're ultra-conservative, and the question I asked you was,
I'm sorry.
perfect politician, you totally went into the church.
I did.
I mean,
Well,
are you sure you're not running
so-
for office?
so-
Because the question I asked is, why did they fail?
So the church demonized.
Why did they lose? But that's one thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's just one reason.
that's one reason, but why do you think they lost this election? Serious. And I'll give you my opinion.
Well, the church did not help them. I mean, that's, the church
The
is
church
huge here.
is not going to help the Democratic Party. Most
No, but-
conservatives are Republican.
Okay, so,
Even when I was a Democrat, I remember that.
well, okay, but me being,
Not no more.
I'm not either, but when I was a Democrat and they were doing this stuff, and I'm like, wait a second, they're not demons. They just don't agree with you.
Okay, so there's like demagoguery, and that's what demagogues
it's
are. They
ridiculous.
use fear, and both
So-
sides do that.
Right. So,
We just think that. What else? Why do you think that most of the
Misinformation.
American people misinformation? Like, what do you mean misinformation?
lies.
Oh,
So-
but the Democratic Party lost because they lost their way. They're all about social views and ideology. They forgot about the real issues like economy, family.
Okay, well, I agree with that, but
Numbers matter, man. I mean, look at why lobbyists have bought out these politicians. You know,
Okay, but
and the big issues are people do not want transgenderism in school. They don't, and the left is basically endorsing a big tech to censorship us. You know what we're doing here. They want to censor you. If you didn't get the vaccine, you shouldn't work. You should remember that. I'm never going to forget what happened. And the Democrats, and we had a governor here
Well-
who followed suit exactly what New York and California did. Let's shut everything down, screw small business. It seems like Trump is more of a populist than any Democrat right now.
Well, let me tell you
and
something.
that's why he won, is because he is using common sense. The Democrats
He's-
are using their ideology is based on an idea of real extreme politics. Transgenderism in schools and
Yeah, I understand that.
is ridiculous.
Okay, I understand
And it's
that, but-
politically incorrect.
Okay,
Even people
but
like
let me
Bill
tell you
Maher,
something.
who are a liberal, agree. It's destroyed
Yeah, wokeism is bad.
entertainment.
I agree.
And
But
everything.
here's the thing. First off, our governor, I thought she did a great job. Here we are, and we're doing pretty good here.
Tell us about that player.
Our,
Wow, I'm back to Pat Summerall now, and this is John Madden, and he lost his mind.
our economy is good, our cost of living is down. I think we're doing well. Now, let
she's
me
a
talk.
hypocrite,
Let me talk. So as far as shutting things down, yeah, we had to do that. And as far as the small businesses go, I remember us going and still ordering food and stuff from the small restaurants and what have you.
The small businesses paid thousands of dollars to stay afloat. They didn't get any tax breaks.
Okay.
Like big business stayed open.
Right.
And this is how the merger of corporate and state powers work. Okay?
Right.
They shut us down deliberately. And
But
to me, it was a beta test.
And we got-
this is why I don't trust you're a libertarian.
No, I'm not a libertarian.
You told me you're a libertarian.
No, that was a while ago.
Well, that was 5 days ago. All of a sudden, you switch.
I'm like nothing.
Or you're nothing right
I'm
now.
more of an
Well,
independent
okay.
than anything else.
All
I
right,
guess,
well, okay,
but-
if you're an independent and
I have
you're
to look at who it is, yeah.
and you're for freedom, then you should have been against what this governor did, and all the governors, not just her, that shut everything down. I don't trust the government. So you were trusting the government with the masks, with the shot,
Something.
with the vaccine,
Yeah, they did
and with
something.
what did it do? Everybody I know that's been that's had 3 or 4 different vaccines have been compromised. Their immune system is not as good as it was. I feel like a lot of people are more sick now. The cancer rate, oh my God, the cancer rate has tripled since. You guys question, kids under 20 are getting heart issues.
Listen.
This is not from the vaccine? Come on.
You don't know that. What hard evidence do you have? You don't have any evidence whatsoever.
What data did they have to tell you that the mask works?
Well, it doesn't matter if it
Well,
works.
it didn't. What, you didn't like the mask
Listen, let me tell you. Oh, I hated it.
Okay then, because you don't listen to the government.
You need to do
So
what you gotta do.
she failed. Democrats now are pro-war, are big business. They are the fascists.
It's almost-
Okay,
they're not fascists.
they're the
Even I didn't say that about the Republicans.
politically incorrectness. You can't say what you want. If how many people
I
lost
say what we want.
how many people lost their jobs because they didn't vaccinate?
I have no idea.
Tons of people.
Let me ask
in
you
the
this.
military.
Oh, that's
Okay,
No,
not only military.
Don't even get started on the military. You do what you're told in the military.
You do what you're told.
You show
this
what
up
you're told.
Kuloid and
That's right.
give me a call in the morning.
Listen.
In Greek it's kolo, by the way, but go ahead.
I'm just telling you right now, I was in the military, okay? You do what you're told. Unless you're gonna, they said, hey, you gotta kill that guy, and there's no reason to kill him, that's a little bit different. Other than that, though,
So to put it in your body.
Oh,
So the government owns you. The government owns
they
you.
do. And you
And
volunteered
you're
for
okay
that.
with
There
that.
was no draft or anything.
But you were just telling me how
Well, yeah, that's what
anti-war you are.
I am.
I am too.
Yeah, but back then I wasn't.
Look,
So
I said I don't agree with it. Well, whatever happened to my body, my right. This is where the liberals fail. But this is where the liberals fail. Well, no. It's a good example.
It's
of what I'm
not.
saying. Well, okay, but when it's abortion, it's my body,
All right,
my right.
all right, listen.
But if I don't want to take a vaccine, well, you better, or you can't go to work. You're gonna lose your damn job.
Yep. Well, that's not what happened.
I agree with that.
And that's
no,
not what
it didn't happen.
Didn't happen with
Not
us.
to everybody,
Didn't
but
happen
it
to
did
us.
happen.
We didn't have to do that.
But I don't care if it happened to 20 people. It still happened. And the government's responsible, and that's why I don't like Whitmer.
Well, no, it's-
she was on board with all that, with all the regulations.
It's not the government that's responsible. It's that business that's responsible for that.
But
Why would they fire you for not taking that vaccine? That is not the government.
Okay, that's not the
That's
government.
not Whitmer.
But the government did fire people. There were people within the government that got fired unless they got the vaccine. That's
Because
what I'm
you
saying.
belong to the government.
Okay, but the merger of corporate and state powers, we already said.
Yeah, we're already.
Okay.
Okay, listen. So, anyways, I was in the military. I was in the Navy, and they injected me with a yellow fever shot. I don't know what's in a yellow fever shot. Guess what? You don't
That's
question
right.
it. You don't want to do this. You're gonna get kicked out. The end.
Okay, I know.
It's
right, but
ridiculous.
We're kind of elaborating now.
I'm just trying to tell you. You give
All I
up.
asked you was, how did they fail? And then you're gonna tell me misinformation.
Oh, yeah, misinformation.
No, the reason why they failed is because people can see the bullshit.
Let me tell you
The
something.
Democratic Party is not the same Democratic Party it was 30 years
And
ago.
neither is the Republicans.
Well, if you're mad
There's
at
nothing like
if
they
you're,
were.
if you're,
Matter of fact,
if-
Reagan's rolling in his
hold on,
grave right
hold on.
now,
If you're-
spinning.
If you're mad at Trump, then you should be mad at the career politicians
No, I
that
am.
gave him the chance to become president.
Yes.
Well, I don't see that.
Well,
Because the liberals should
I
take
don't
a good
think
look
either.
in the mirror, because they failed the American people. That's why Trump came along and did what he did. So he took advantage of the situation, and now he's president. Now, he's got 4 years, and I'm honest here, and he's got 4 years, so you Trump supporters out there too, you have 4 years, hold on, and I want him to do good, okay? You control Congress, you control the Senate, you control the House. There is no excuses.
Right.
They gotta
Exactly.
get things done.
And they're gonna blow it.
Well, we'll see.
There. So, let me tell you something though.
How much more we have left here?
Just a couple of minutes.
Till your batteries run out.
Yeah. What he did
Oh,
was.
by the way, our IT guy had to leave because his wife told him to go home.
So, another reason the Democrats lost, though, this is what he did. All he did was play on fear, the border, immigration. These people are taking your jobs. These people are raping you. They're killing you. They're bad hombres coming in over the border. It's ridiculous. That's got nothing to do with anything. Now he says we're going to have mass deportation.
That's not gonna happen.
Well-
There's not gonna be mass deportation.
So then you admitted he lied.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
He said he was going to do mass deportation, 21 million
But
people.
the other side didn't lie too about Trump and all that other stuff. You have people on the other side thinking that, because
No,
there's
but I'm-
racist people, so I'm not gonna vote for him because he's encouraging people that are racist. I had somebody tell me the other day that they were blaming Trump because somebody spewed out a racial slur against this person. I blame the Trump people because they're Trump supporters.
No.
I know, you don't believe that, but
That's
there are
ridiculous.
people on the other side that believe ridiculous things.
Right.
Okay, all right.
No,
So
that's-
it's a two-way street here.
Well,
But my question.
two-way street of stupidity.
Well, my question.
That guy was racist.
My question. Exactly. Well, my question is, and I don't know if you answered it, but the reason why the Democrats lost is because they lost their way. They got nobody to blame.
No,
but
I agree.
themselves.
No, I agree on that.
And they're not the beacon of democracy.
No.
When you basically have a soft coup, what about the Biden supporters who wanted Biden? They were forced out
All
to
three
put
of them?
Kamala Harris in. But they were still supporting. Well, my point is, they forced him out. And what kind of elections did they have? Remember, there used to be a convention?
Yeah.
What convention? There was nobody, no delegates. They just gave her.
Oh, yeah, I know.
They gave her that.
And I like another thing too. She had what? She raised what, $1 billion in like 3 minutes.
Gee, I wonder
That's
how she did
insane.
that.
Well,
Big business, big business, big business, and they're-
okay, that's
you know,
fine. That's fine, Danny, because I was on his side too.
Of course.
But what I'm saying
I'm not
is,
gonna deny that. I'm not
right?
gonna
What
deny
I'm saying is though, if you can get that kind of money for this stupid crap and fail, why can't you do that for like homeless people?
They don't.
Why can't you do it for social programs? You know what? You want to have abortion? Let's have some sensible stuff with the abortion. If the mother's going to die, she needs to have an abortion. She's already alive. That baby's not out yet.
I get it, but that.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just common
That
sense.
doesn't happen all the time.
Okay, how about that? No, of course not. But let's have that in there.
But for the Democrats to run on abortion, now this is in 1978.
Yeah, I know.
They got it. They have to wake up. Most people,
Well,
I don't care what color, it's about economy.
Yeah.
Definitely about the
But then-
strengthening of the dollar
Also,
and inflation.
though-
Those three things put Trump in the
Also,
White House.
let's have, how about some social programs for this woman that now has to have this baby? that she
We
didn't want?
have a lot of social
We
programs.
need some more.
What
How
kind
about
of
we
social
have,
programs?
well, how about we, help her with the food, and we help her with because his formula's insane. You think gas is high?
They usually they usually get incentives for
Well,
social programs
I understand that, but-
for people who are underprivileged or what don't make as much money. I mean, those programs are still out there.
Well, how about the person that does make enough money that
But
needs
what I-
that still didn't want the baby though? You know what I'm saying?
No,
Also, let's
yeah.
have some adoption people there. Hey, maybe we can do that. How about we pass these laws that if you have a company and you hire somebody under the table so that he can hide his income, that they have to pay heavy fines.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Well, I'm not saying there's anything wrong
That's
with
what,
that.
you know what I'm
but
saying? Let's
none of
have some
these
common
issues are brought
sense.
up.
There's no common sense with this
No,
stuff.
there's no common
And
sense.
then, and then you have the right to lifers that they want no abortion. The mom dies, that's too bad.
No.
That's insane.
There's extremists on both sides. I know.
I don't understand these people anyways.
Abortion is a touchy subject.
These pro-lifers are really pro-birthers. They don't want anything
Well-
to do with that baby until it's
Well,
18 and can fight their wars.
And you, well, we both agree on
That's
the war
insane.
thing. The war is a racket. We know that.
Yeah.
But the abortion thing is Trump didn't get rid of abortion, he left it up to the states.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
know.
something constitutionalists like, and I like too. You leave it up to the state when in Rome. If you're in Michigan, you still have abortion, but if you go to Texas, it's probably a little different.
No,
but this
it's
is
a lot different.
Well,
They don't have it.
this is why I say when you do something right, sometimes both sides bitch at you, and both sides were complaining. You had people who were totally against abortion saying you didn't totally get rid of it, and you have the people that want abortion saying you got rid of it.
All right, we're gonna have to wrap this up.
Okay.
So,
Thank you for cutting me off there, Elvis
you're
Costello.
welcome. So,
Well played.
I just want to thank everybody for watching us. Please like and subscribe. We're going to try and do this once a week. We're not always going to talk about politics and religion or anything like that. We're going to do more current events, movies, sports. We're gonna do everything. So it's not always going to be like today.
This time to hear any style. We have fancy people coming here to show us how to get style. As you can see, this room is full of style.
We need more props.
We do.
We need more props instead of Beckett.
We do. Instead of Beckett.
So we'll have more people to have an open forum, and hopefully we can go live.
Yes, yes. We got big plans for this, so hopefully everything works out for us. But well, thank you again.
Thank you.
And you guys have a great day.
That was good.
Yeah.